Hey neighbor, Alicia Dolan here at Creating in My Corner. I am going live a little bit early tonight. So I hope that everyone can still join me, or you can catch me later on YouTube. Tonight, I really wanted to use a new stamp set that I've got that I haven't used yet, and it's called Little Monkey. It's so cute. And I hope that you enjoy it too. So real quick, before we get started making our 2 cards for tonight, if you want to receive tonight's card class as a kit, that would be the everything you need to make the cards except for your ink, your stamps, and your adhesive. Those you'd have to purchase separately. So your cardstock, your embellishments, and any die cuts we would use, those would all be included in your kit. If you want to receive that kit, all you have to do is place an order that's $35 or more and use the actually $25 or more. So if you place a $25 order or more, I will send you the cards, the kit to make these cards. It'll be 4 cards, 2 of each card. So I just wanted to let you know that up front, and I will put the host code in the description after the video. I'm going to turn the camera around and we'll go ahead and get started. Since we have 2 cards to make, it'll probably take us just a little bit to get that done. Okay, so here we are over at our stamping space. Hopefully you can see everything all right. If you can like and share this video, that would be really great. If you know someone who might like to craft along with us, and anytime you like a video, that helps me know what you want to see more of. So if you have any comments, I will try to answer them while we're doing the video, but I don't always see them. So I'll try to make sure I'm keeping an eye out for any questions or comments. So here is the stamp set we're going to work with tonight. It's called Little Monkey. I think it's super cute. So first, we're going to take a piece of, this is Petal Pink cardstock, and we're going to cut this in half. And I need to move Mortimer. He's on the wrong side of me. There we go. So we're going to cut this at 5 1/2. And then we're going to turn our piece of card sideways, and we're going to score it at 4 1/4. Now your Stampin' Up! Trimmer will have both the scoring blade and cutting blade on, unless you've taken one of them off. All right, so we're going to fold this in half right along that score line. And we're going to use a bone folder to press that fold so it's nice and steady. I did start a little bit early tonight. There's we've got no one coming over, but my husband was talking about dinner, making dinner, and it just seemed like the right kind of day where people are probably going to be grilling out. I don't know if they would have grilled out this afternoon or not, but I thought it might be nice to go live a little bit earlier. In fact, I tried to go even earlier than this, but it didn't work out. I wasn't ready yet. right. I was just reading my my notes over here. Okay, next we're going to take a piece of, this is copper clay. It's a new color. And we're going to cut this at 5. And then we're going to turn it and cut it at 3 3/4. Okay, and this is going to be our next layer. And then we're going to have one that is, you know what, I kind of want that to be a little bit smaller. So we did 5, but let's do 4 3/4. So I'm just going to cut a 1/4 inch off each side. So we're going to do 4 3/4 by 3 1/2. And remember that if you are signed up for my email, you'll get an email this week. Probably, I try to get them out before Wednesday, but it'll have all the measurements and basic instructions in it, along with the host code that you would need to order to get this class for free. Okay, so now we're going to cut our designer series paper at 3 1/4. And then we're going to turn it sideways and we're going to cut it at 4 1/2. Okay, and that is going to go on top like that. Now, next, we're going to take one of our pieces of cinnamon cider and we are going to punch this with a decorative circle punch. So, and when I punch, I always like to just slide my paper in and punch upside with my punch upside down so I can see exactly where I'm punching. Okay, and then we're going to take one of our piece of petal pink that was left here. And we're going to punch this with a 2-inch punch. And that's going to sit right inside our circle. Just like that. All right, and now next I want to stamp our monkey. So what I'm going to do is grab black. And I've got, let's see, I've got block D and block H tonight that I'm using. And I have some copper clay ink right here. And some scraps of basic white that we can stamp on. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to stamp this little branch right here. So I'm going to put that on my longer block. Okay, and now what I'm going to do is tap that in my ink, and I'm going to practice stamp here. You know, I like to do that when I'm using photopolymer. And then this time I'm going to practice stamp again, but it's really going to be a stamp off. So I'm going to stamp off, huff on my stamp a little bit, and then I'm going to stamp on my white paper. And what that does is just give me a little bit lighter shade of that copper clay. All right, and so now I've got my little branch here. And what I'm gonna do is grab a couple of my Stampin' Blends to color this in with. So here I've got Mossy Meadow and Bronze. So I'm gonna start with the light Mossy Meadow, and I'm gonna color in my leaves. Okay, and then I'm gonna take the dark Mossy Meadow, and I'm just gonna add a little bit of color to one side of the leaf. I always like to add a little extra color so that I like it better. And it doesn't matter which side you want to color, or if you don't want to color a side, that's totally okay too. Okay, so there are my leaves. And then I'm going to use this bronze color to color in my branch. And I don't know if you noticed just now, I turned my paper. I'm going to tell you that um, I really like when I color to be able to stay in the lines. And I find that it helps if I'm coloring with the tip of my marker towards the edge of whatever image I'm coloring. So like I wouldn't want to color all the way to the edge with my marker this way. I'd turn my paper around and then color if I needed more color by the edge. And when I use my markers, I color really lightly too. There's a lot of color in them. And so you don't have to press very hard with your Stampin' Blends at all. So you just want to press a little bit. Now I'm going to take my scissors and I'm actually going to trim this little branch out. know that sometimes we like to get really close to the edge when we're fussy cutting, but this time I'm not getting too close. I'm leaving a nice white edge around my image. I think that's going to help it stand out from my card just a little bit more than it would if I didn't leave that white. Sometimes when I get to the end of my fussy cutting, it can be a little tricky to get my edges just where I want them to be. Okay, so there is our tree branch. And then we're gonna stamp our little monkey. And I'm going to stamp this one right here that looks like he's hanging, and we're going to try and get him to hang from that branch. All right, so we're going to put him right here on block D, and we're going to stamp him in copper clay. All right, we're going to practice stamp on the side. Tap again to get a little more ink on there. And we're going to stamp right here because we're going to color this little monkey and fussy cut it out too. All right, I'm going to close this up for a minute. I'm going to clean off my stamp. I don't see any comments or questions out there yet, so hopefully you were able to find me okay since I started a little bit early tonight. All right, and I stamped in full strength this time. So when I color this little monkey in, you will see the lines a little bit more than what you did with the tree branch. So I'm going to color the little skinny parts first. Mostly because I feel like that's the trickiest. Here's the little arms. Okay, and now our monkey's body. Okay, and then we can color the head. So I'm going around the ears. And remember, I'm not pressing very hard because the harder I press, the more likely I am to go outside the line and make a mistake. Okay, and now I'm going to grab the Petal Pink Stampin' One. And I'm going to use that for the ears. And maybe a little bit right here for the cheeks. I don't know if monkeys have little pink cheeks, but I think it looks really cute that way. So that's what I'm doing. All right, and now we're gonna cut our little monkey out. And while we are fussy cutting, we're gonna try not to be too fussy. The one thing I really want to do is try to keep my edges kind of smooth. I don't want them to be too close to the little monkey because I want that little white edge so that it stands out. Got a little closer on that arm than I wanted to. All right, so there is our monkey. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cut a little bit here around that tail. Okay. So now I've got a little bit around that tail, and then I need to cut just like that, I think. And then we can hook our little monkey's tail right over that branch so that it looks like it's just hanging down. All right, so we've got our branch, we have our little monkey, and then on this little piece of paper, that's our petal pink circle that we punched out, a 2-inch circle. I'm gonna grab a little stamp and use a smaller block just for a minute here. And I think what we'll do is use this, this little leaf over here. And it looks like this. So I'm just gonna put that on my block. And this time I'm using block C. And I'm just gonna stamp off. And then I'm gonna stamp that a couple times on this little circle. Okay. All right. And Let me grab the copper clay ribbon. Okay. It was the last one in my stack. Hello, Tammy. I'm glad you're here. I went live a little bit early tonight and I didn't have a chance to announce it. So I am glad that you made it. Okay, so here is our little circle. And then the other thing that we need is we need a little sentiment. So we're going to use just swinging by to say hi. I'm hoping that'll fit in my, you know what, let's test it out and see. So tonight I wanted to use this oval punch. So what I'm going to do is punch out my little ovals. And then to double check that my sentiment's going to fit, I can just hold it right over whichever one I wanted to use. All right, and what I have learned is the one I wanted doesn't fit. So we're going to do I'm Bananas About You. Or let's do Little Monkey. I think that'll be cute. Okay, so we're just going to put that on our block. All right, and I already punched out a little oval, so let's see if I can stamp it on there straight. I'm just going to stamp on my smooth oval from the oval punch, just like that. And now I'm going to use the oval punch and I'm going to punch out which color should I punch out? I feel like it should be this one. All right, I'm going to punch out this petal pink oval. And I think that'll be really cute on there. But that's not what I wanted to say. All right, so we're going to do something different. You know I change my mind sometimes. I hope you don't mind. We're going to do something different. I really wanted to say just swinging by to say hi, especially since we're using the little monkey that's upside down. So I'm going to switch my plan just a little bit. All right, so here's my sentiment. Here's my little monkey. All right, we're going to leave this one out and we're going to switch. So we're going to do just swinging by to say hi. I'm going to stamp that here on my basic white. And remember, if you are signed up for my email, all of these measurements will be included. All the steps will come right to your inbox. All right, and so now we're going to punch this out with a 2-inch circle. Okay. So now we have our little monkey, our branch, our sentiment, and we're going to put our little monkey up here at the top, like that. So let's put our ribbon over here on this side. So let's put our card together. First, we're going to turn over our designer series paper. And we are going to glue that to our copper clay piece of cardstock. So we'll do a thin line of glue around the edge and then a squiggle down the middle. And we're going to turn that over and just center it on our copper clay. Just like that. Okay, and now we've got our copper clay ribbon over here. So we're going to measure how much we need to just tuck it around each edge. Like that. And then we'll grab our mini glue dots. All right, we're going to tear those off and just put one on each end of that ribbon. Okay, and then we're just going to tuck it around like this. And we can put another glue dot back there if we need to. We're just going to tuck it around like that. And now we're going to turn it over and add some liquid glue. A little bit around, all the way around the edge. You're going to leave a little space for your finger and then a squiggle down the middle. And we're going to turn that over, center it on the front of our card and glue it down. Okay, now we're going to take our little sentiment here and turn that over. And this time, we're kind of going to do the same thing. We're going to put it's kind of in a circle though. It just curls in towards the center. That circle is a little trickier to pick up. And then we're going to center that on our decorative circle. Just like that. And I think we want this to go down here in the corner. And then our little monkey is going to go up here. So I think what we want to do is put our bow right about here in the middle. So to do that, we're just going to cut a little piece of our ribbon. And we're going to tie it around there just in a knot. Now, if you want to be fancy and tie a bow, that's okay. But tonight, I just want a little knot. Like that. Okay, and I think that's perfect. All right, so I'm going to turn this over and grab some Stampin' Dimensionals. And we're just going to pop maybe 3 of those on there. Okay, so there's our sentiment right there in the corner. And then we're going to turn our little monkey and our branch over because we kind of want to keep them together, I think. And then we're going to put some little Stampin' Dimensionals around on them. So I'm going to put one here. And over here. And maybe here in the middle. And then I'll put a couple on my monkey too. Because I don't want it jumping off my card. All right, so now we can peel off all those little pieces. I'm gonna turn it over. And stick it right about here. All right, so there is our first card. We do still need some little sparkly dots though. Right, and we're gonna use these in color dots that are fairly new, the 2023 to 2025 in color dots. And in here is a little bit of each of the in colors. Now you can see that I've already used up the boho blue almost completely. Because blue is my absolute favorite. So this time we're going to use some of the copper clay. So I'm going to grab a medium-sized dot and stick it here in the corner. A large dot and put it right here. And then I'm going to take a little small dot and put it up here by my monkey. Okay, and that is our first card for tonight. So isn't that cute with that little monkey just swinging by to say hi? Okay, and now we will move right along to the next card. Okay. Now let's see. I'll set that one up here so you can still see it if you would like to have a look at it. Okay, now we're going to start our next card, and we've got a piece of basic white that's 5.5 by 8.5. And this one is scored at 4 1/4, the same way we did the first one. So we're just going to fold that in half and give it a press with our bone folder. Thank you, Tammy. I like that little monkey a lot. And this is the first time I've actually sat down to play with the little monkey stamp set. Okay, there's that. And then our designer series paper, we are going to cut 4 by 5 1/4. So here we are at 4. Whoops. And then we're going to turn it sideways so we can cut it at 5 1/4. And this is going to go right on the front. And then we're going to take this little leftover piece and turn it this way. And then we need a little piece of basic white. And this one measures, let's see, 3.5. Okay, so let's make it 3.5 by 2 3/4. Just like that. Okay, and I'm gonna emboss this. Uh-oh. Can you hear me knocking things over? I'm trying not to, but it seems like I'm always making something. All right, I'm gonna emboss that with the wood grain embossing folder. And this one I have to run through the big machine. So I will run it through and I will be right back. It's just over here behind me. Okay, so here's my embossed piece. I don't know if you can see that. It doesn't show up really good until you get up close. So there's what it looks like up close. All right, and that's gonna go right here. And then we're gonna cut out another circle, a punch out, I should say. And we're just gonna punch this out of the, let's see, I'm not sure if this is gonna be big enough. Hold on. I think it's gonna have to be just a little bit bigger than that. So that was a 2-inch circle. There is also, let's see. Now we also have a 2 3/8, but this one I have right here is 2 1/4. So it's just a hair bigger than that 2-inch. I don't have the 2 3/8 inch circle yet. So we're gonna put that there. And then, actually, I think this little monkey would go on this card. That's the one we stamped from before. All right, but now we need our piece of basic white. And we're gonna stamp a different little monkey. My stamps are really new, and so they're sticking really tight to everything. To the little acetate sheet they're stuck to and to the blocks. Okay, so here's our little monkey. And we're gonna stamp in copper clay again. And we're gonna practice stamp just to make sure our stamp is working good. And we can stamp our monkey right here. And this time we are just gonna cut this little monkey out. Okay. Almost done with our fussy cutting. Okay, here's our little monkey. And then I almost think we need a different, let's cut a different piece for that right there. I'd like something that makes it stand out just a little bit more. All right, so let's cut a 3/4 inch strip. And then we will cut it to 4 inches. Yep, I think I like that better. Okay. So it's gonna be just like that. And then we have our little monkey already stamped. And let's cut out the little backgrounds oval to go around there. So we have that punched. I'm using a lot of punches tonight, I feel like. I don't usually use that many. Okay, so here we go. Now we're gonna put our card together. So we're gonna turn our designer series paper over and put our liquid glue around the edge. Now remember, we're gonna do a thin line around the edge. We're gonna leave a space for our finger and then a squiggle in the middle. There we go. I think my glue is getting close to running out, so I'm gonna have to replace it soon. It might be tonight. Okay, we're gonna line that up and pin it in the center and then press it down. Now, if you're worried about spooning that paper when you're pressing it down, you could always turn it over and press from the other side. Then you can really press hard and you can be pretty sure that paper's not gonna scoot over. Okay, next we're gonna put our little strip down. And I'm gonna do the same thing with that. A little line around the edge. And then a squiggle down the middle. And see how I left a little space there for my finger. You really do want to do that. Okay, so we're gonna put our strip right here. And then we can kind of wiggle it a little bit because we use that liquid glue just to make sure it looks straight. Sometimes those polka dots aren't perfectly straight, and so you'll want to wiggle it just a little bit. Okay, and now this, I'm going to use some Stampin' Dimensionals on. And I'm just going to put one on each corner. And then one in the middle. I don't like the middle of my stand-up parts to press in. So I always try to stick something in the middle, whether it's a really small dimensional or a regular size. I like to have something there. Okay, now we're gonna put this right over here on the left. And we're gonna put our monkey on dimensionals too. So really this card has 2 layers that pop up a little bit, but it won't really seem like that much. So first let's glue our little circle on. So we're just gonna swirl around our glue. If the glue will come out, there we go. Okay. And we're just gonna stick that right in the middle. Like that. And then we're gonna pop our monkey on top of there. I do think this is a better size for this little monkey than the 2-inch circle. Okay, and now we're gonna glue our sentiment together. And glue that right to the scallop oval. This color that we're using tonight is copper clay, and I thought that would be a perfect little color for monkey cards. All right, so now we need some dimensionals for this, but we need the small ones wherever I put them. Okay. Because we want it to go here, we're gonna put them one here at the bottom and then one along the side. So remember, when you flip it over, remember to be putting them on the right spots. So one on the bottom, and since we flipped it, we're gonna put one on the left. But it'd actually be on the right. I kind of wish I would have colored that monkey now. I think he's a lot cuter when he's colored. So when you're making your monkey, you might want to color him. I might try and color him a little bit later, but it'll be a little finicky now that he's up here and a little wobbly. So there is our next little monkey card. And then we need some little gems. Okay, and we'll do, let's see, this time let's do 3 big gems. So we'll put one right here. Oh, there's got a little piece of, little something in there. There. Okay, so one right there. Oh, one stuck to my thumb. Hold on. I was doing so good with those too. And let's put one over here. And then maybe one up here, kind of in the corner. Let's do it right between these 3 dots. That looks good to me. Okay, so there is our monkey card, our second monkey card for tonight. I really think we should have colored him. Well, I'm gonna do that later. Okay, so here is our second card. And here is the first one for tonight. So if you would like to, if you'd like to place an order and get this class, you would just order $25 from my Stampin' Up website, and you have to use a special host code. So I will post the link with the host code in it in the description here and on YouTube. So if you want to get this class, you can do that. Now, remember that you will need to order your stamps and your ink, but I would punch out the shapes for you. So you would get this little square, rectangle. It's a rectangle, it's not a square. This 2 1/4 inch circle, these 2 shapes here, this 2-inch circle and this decorative circle would already be punched out for you. And I'll send you all of that. So, and a piece of ribbon for this card here, and a few in color dots so that you can do exactly the same as what I did. Have a great week and a safe weekend. I know this is Memorial Day weekend, and it carries with it a little bit of heaviness at the same time as it has some fun. So I hope that you are able to celebrate with friends and family, as well as remember the reason why we have that time off to celebrate. So I hope that you have a great week and happy stamping until next week. Thanks, Tammy. I'll see you next time.